Welcome back to the European Research Showcase, everyone. My name is Sam Langford. I'm the coordinator for the Global Science Show, helping put together this event as part of Intersections 2023, a UKRI funded project as part of European Researchers' Night. And whether it is videos like this or threads you've been following on social media, profiles being shared, there's lots and lots of different content to engage with. And I'm so delighted to be back with another interview to find out about someone else who is really great, who they are, what they do, and just have a chat about what that work is all about. So I'm going to open up with the question that I always have. So, Petri, who are you and what do you do?
Well, I am Dr. Petri Kahila, and I currently work as a research director and also a director of the Karelian Institute at the University of Eastern Finland, located in the Joensuu campus, quite close to the Russian border, actually. Um, my primary focus in research revolves around regional and local governance, social and territorial cohesion, rural policy, but also evaluation studies. I have been working both in academic and applied research on regional policy and social and territorial cohesion. At the moment, I am actively engaged in the Horizon Europe project called Rustic, where we are working on strategies to foster the sustainability transitions in rural areas. And so these transitions cover socioeconomic transition, digital transition, and climate change.
If I just have a little follow up question to that about Rustic, am I right in saying there's a large number of partner organisations from all across Europe involved in that? Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. We are, well, it's a 4-year project. It has a budget, something like almost 8 million euros. And we are altogether, if I remember right, 31 partners. Uh, we are academic partners, like University of Eastern Finland. And then we have also partners that are acting as a pilot region partners. So we are implementing a living lab is our approach in these pilot regions. So it's very much work with very closely engaged with policymakers and like I would like to call them policy makers, but also the policy takers and the research takers.
I'll come back to just thinking about you yourself as well. What's the? Could you give us a flavour of the route you've taken in your career to where you are now? How do you get into this role that you're doing?
Yeah, sure. My my trip or journey into the field of regional and local governance started with the fascination actually for understanding the dynamics development of regions and communities. If we are a little bit more precise, not only the communities, but especially the municipalities in Finnish case, because in Finland, the municipalities hold quite a lot of independency and they are strong statutory powers at the local level. I hold a PhD in economic geography, and during my academic career, I became captivated by the different ways in which the regions and municipalities can develop, change, and especially sometimes how they face the different kind of challenges in time and in policies. And I have, well, one can say that I have realized during my already 25-year research career that that studying these issues and themes not only help academics, but can also make a real impact actually on people's lives, and especially those living in rural and sparsely populated areas.
Yeah, I was going to come on to that actually, thinking about impacts. What level of impact would you see in terms of the more general audiences that you engage with? What sorts of impacts do you see?
Well, of course, as a background is on geography, my human geography, and geographers they love scales. So I like to move between the scales in a way that we talk about the national level, regional level, and the local level. So everything that's actually is always moving between the scales, and of course, we should not forget the European scale. So this is a sort of my home pitch where I want to still develop myself and what I want to research, moving between the different scales and study the policy issues, how they are realized, and how this influence the different scales, because everything that is done at the local level always has an influence, or if not an influence, there are expectations how the national level, for instance, reacts on different problems and challenges at the local level, and vice versa as well.
Hmm. Oh, thank you. Again, coming back to you at this point, what does an average day look like for you? Is there an average day?
No, definitely not. No, my days are really quite diverse, although one might think that, okay, I'm just sitting here in my chamber and do research, and that's what the academics do. But no, definitely not. I I split my days between leading the Karelian Institute as a director, partly also teaching and conducting research, but then also in collaborating with policymakers. So on, you might say that on any given day, you might find me sitting in my chamber analyzing data, collaborating with my fellow researchers, or I am somewhere outside having a meeting with policymakers to share our research findings. But then you might find me also sitting and thinking theoretical questions. So I'm doing all these kind of things almost daily basis. It's a, I would say it's a sort of a dynamic mixture of activities, but it all revolves around the central theme of understanding and making better or improving the well-being of the communities, or as I mentioned, the municipalities and regions. And currently, these all these questions, themes, and also ways of working are significant part of my work in this our earlier mentioned Horizon project, Rustic, where we are responsible for, I was earlier explaining about the scales, so exploring the innovative governance approaches for rural sustainability on different scales.
Well, Petri, we're very rapidly getting towards the end of when we'd be recording. So I actually just have one more question, which is, what if you had a 30-second elevator pitch, something you wanted public audiences to know about your work? What would be the one thing you would want them to know?
Hmm. Oh, elevator switch. There's one key takeaway, actually. Uh, the public should know that the research we do isn't confined to the academic realm. It has a real world implications. We are working to ensure that everyone, no matter where they live, has an access to opportunities and resources. Whether it's developing policies that support rural areas, promoting cohesion among communities, or tackling issues like poverty, social exclusion, our work aims to make a tangible difference in people's lives. And I believe that by researching and understanding these issues, we can create more equitable and sustainable future for all.
I think it's a great note to end on. Petri, thank you so much for coming to talk to us about the work that you do. There will be links alongside this video for the Rustic Project and for the Karelian Institute if people want to find out more about any of the work that you or your collaborators or colleagues do. Thank you so much again, and thank you to folks at home for watching along. If you've got any questions or comments, please do leave them below or above the video, depending on where you're watching it, and continue to engage with all of the content coming out from the European Research Showcase. We have got upwards of 75 different pieces of content coming out, so please do go engage with it. Like, retweet, share, whatever you would like to do with that content. We would love for you to engage with it. But otherwise, take care, and we'll see you all again very soon.